The crack of breaking wood is not the sound any man wants greeting him before his first cup of coffee. Yet there it was again, my ranch gate crying out like a wounded veteran as Karen's spotless white SUV smashed straight through it as if she held the deed in her manicured hand. To her, my land wasn't private property. It was a convenient shortcut. She didn't slow down, she didn't wave, she didn't ask. She just flew past in oversized sunglasses, chin high, ruling my pasture like a suburban monarch. The first time I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Accidents happen. The second time I suspected entitlement. By the third I knew she was daring me, and I've never been the kind of man who backs down from a challenge, especially not on land I paid for with decades of sweat and broken knuckles. What Karen didn't realize was that while she was busy playing HOA royalty, I was quietly planning something she'd never see coming. Before we get into it, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. When I bought the ranch, I imagined peace, endless sky, cattle grazing in the early morning mist, a solid wooden gate swinging shut every night with a satisfying thump. After 30 years in construction, lungs full of dust, joints worn down, and endless HOA letters telling me what shade of beige my mailbox had to be, I was done with noise, done with clipboards, done with people who thought authority came from laminated badges. My ranch sat just beyond Pine Hollow, a sprawling HOA-controlled development with more rules than common sense. Thankfully, my deed placed me completely outside their jurisdiction. No dues, no meetings, no president breathing down my neck. The boundary was marked clearly by my gate, a heavy cedar frame I built myself, iron hinges bolted deep, stretched across a gravel drive. It was my line in the dirt, and I took pride in it. I hadn't even lived there a month before I met her. Karen had the look down perfectly. Sharp blonde bob, designer shades, brand new SUV sporting an HOA strong bumper sticker like a badge of honor. She slowed, rolled her window halfway down, and smiled, a thin smile that never reached her eyes. "Lovely property," she said. "Thank you," I replied. Then she floored it. She smashed through my closed gate without hesitation. Hinges shrieked. Cedar scraped against stone. Before my brain could catch up, she was halfway across my pasture, dust boiling behind her like she was late to be crowned. I stood there stunned. At first I told myself she must have been lost. Maybe her GPS glitched, but that smug little wave in her rearview mirror said otherwise. This wasn't a mistake. That night I repaired the damage, reset the posts, reinforced the hinges. I chalked it up to arrogance and hoped it would end there. It didn't. A week later I heard the engine before I saw her. She didn't slow this time. She hit the gate like she was storming a beachhead. I ran out shouting, arms flailing. "Hey, private property." She laughed, leaned out the window, and yelled back, "Community easement," before vanishing down my drive. Community easement. My blood boiled. I knew my deed by heart. There was no easement, no shared access, no legal claim. She said it like gospel, though, like HOA law outranked county records. Later that day, at the feed store, two old-timers just shook their heads when I mentioned her. "You've got Karen," one said, spitting sunflower shells into a cup. "She runs that HOA like a dictatorship." "She'll bury you in complaints," the other added. "Best to let it go." I didn't like that advice. The third time I caught her red-handed. I was stacking firewood when I heard gravel crunch. There she was, idling at the gate, revving like she owned the place. "You should really leave this open," she said smugly. "That's my gate," I shot back, "my land." She sneered, "Don't be selfish. This road saves me 10 minutes, that's community spirit." "Lady," I laughed bitterly, "that's trespassing." "You're new," she said coldly. "You'll learn, the HOA sets the rules." I told her to turn around. She didn't. She drove through, dust spraying my boots like an insult. From that moment on, it wasn't about wood anymore, it was about respect. Soon, others followed her lead. HOA vehicles started parading across my land like it was a public road. One afternoon, I found an envelope in my mailbox, official HOA letterhead. "Violation notice, unsightly structure, demand to remove my gate." I nearly laughed myself sick. I went straight to the county clerk. No easement, no oversight, I was right. But Karen wasn't bluffing anymore, she was escalating. The gate was smashed again and again, board members joined in, convoys crossed my pasture, fines followed, threats escalated, inspections, trespassers with clipboards snapping photos of my barn like vultures. When I confronted her at the HOA office, she slid a stack of fake violations across her desk totaling thousands. "You'll regret this," she said calmly. That's when it clicked. This wasn't a misunderstanding, it was a power grab. The sheriff wouldn't help, no video, he shrugged, and Karen's got friends. So I stopped asking for permission. That night, staring at the wreckage of my gate under the stars, I understood something important. If a structure keeps failing, you don't patch it. You rebuild it stronger. I wasn't going to build another wooden gate. I was going to build a trap. Steel posts sunk 6 feet into reinforced concrete, industrial beams welded into a skeleton strong enough to stop a truck, cedar layered on the outside so it looked harmless, and beneath the gravel, hidden surprises waiting for anyone arrogant enough to test it. Karen thought she was playing games. But some gates don't swing. Some gates bite. And the next time she came barreling through, she was about to learn exactly what happens when you mistake patience for weakness.